Yeah, what's up, you jigaboo cocksucking motherfuckers? This is Seanstradamus, the sports genius, formerly known as Sean Don. Welcome to another episode of Diary of a Man Sports Fan, coming to you Tuesday, March 16th, 2021. I'm going to just get right off into what grinds my gears in the world. The NFL free agency period, the non-tampering period, or whatever the fuck that means. I don't know what it means. Why can't you just jump to free agency? But the quote-unquote non-tampering period started yesterday. Nothing really happened. Everybody's acting all excited just because they want something to talk about. Colin Cowherd and First Take with Stephen A. screaming A. Smith and shit. And, motherfucking FS1 Skip and Shannon. They all just talking about, just arguing just to be arguing, because shit happens. The Patriots spent like about $300 million, which they told in total guaranteed money is going to wind up being like $50 million, which is shit. And they paid for a bunch of bums. Now, granted, Bill Belichick does well with bums. He turns bums into decent players and wins with those people. It may happen, it may not happen, but who cares? The Bears ain't signed nobody. Russell Wilson still with Seattle. Motherfucking Deshaun Watson is still with Houston. Therefore, I don't give a shit about this period. Nobody's really signing important. I haven't seen too many offensive linemen get a lot of money, but I mean, there was a few signed, but like whatever. So I'm not going to talk about that. What I want to talk about in this episode of Diary of a Man Sports Fan, who I fucking hate in this world over the last week, is this pussy ass nigga Kirk Franklin, son. I don't even know dude's name. That's how unknown this nigga is, right? So this dude is having a conversation with Kirk Franklin, and Kirk, also known as Plies, decides to cuss his ass out like most black parents do. He told him he's gonna put his foot up his ass, call him a bitch ass nigga, whatever. This proving Kirk Franklin right when he calls him a bitch ass nigga. This bitch ass nigga actually tapes the conversation and goes back and plays it on social media to show people what Kirk Franklin is like. I'm like, okay, so first of all, I thought this motherfucker, I didn't know who Kirk, because I don't even know how many kids Kirk Franklin got and shit. I just listened to his song, to some of his songs, Stomp and shit like that. You know, everybody say Stomp. I guess he was serious when he said that shit. So from now, he's more serious than these rappers who be lying and saying they be all in the hood shooting and shit. Now, Kirk Franklin be about his music. But, so, I didn't know who the fuck Kirk Franklin's son was. I'm like, who the fuck is this nigga? I'm thinking he like 12, 13 years old, you know what I'm saying? He, social media, he put up. This motherfucker 32 years old. Who the fuck you? Would you think DCFS gonna step in or something because you take this nigga and put it out there? Who's going to come to your defense in this matter? That's first of all. Like, second of all, how the fuck are you taping conversations with your parents? Like, nigga, if I had taped conversations with my parents, they would probably be locked up. Like, my father died when I was 4 years old, so I really didn't have any conversations like that with him. But my mother cussed and called us all types of gap tooth and buck tooth and stupid ass everything. I ducked way more shoes than George W. Bush did back in 2008. Like, nigga, it goes with the territory. And guess what? I was actually the one that didn't get beat. Out of all three, me and my other two brothers, they actually got whooped and beat. I didn't get beat, but I was verbally abused and told about it. And guess what? It happens. Nobody gives a fuck. That's what goes on in black households. See, y'all be watching too many Wonder Years and shit like that. With you, Mom, it's not going to be that. No, fuck that. That shit happens in white families. Like, Mom, I don't like the way you talk to me like that. Mom, I'm depressed. Like, motherfucker, depress your ass and then do them dishes. Get your ass out of here. You know, and I wonder if he realizes he's black. That may be a question mark. That's actually a question that I haven't seen anybody bring up, but he may need to answer that question. Because it sounds like he don't know who the fuck he is. So that's, first of all, about why the fuck would he take this conversation. Second of all, I'm not writing off Kirk Franklin. Y'all are too big on this cancel culture shit. You motherfucking cancel Pepe Le Pew and Miss Piggy fat ass for whooping on Kermit and all this shit. I'm like, if y'all go near Benny Hill, I'm glad Benny Hill dead, to be honest, because if y'all go near Benny Hill, I was gonna have to bust some ass. I was gonna have to whoop y'all ass for real, because the shit's not funny. Benny Hill was my man. That nigga shit. He could touch whoever he want to touch. All these hoes, whatever. Lighten the fuck up. It goes back to the reason why I told you nobody should have shot that fucking Coming to America movie. Because the shit was 33 years ago. It's a different world. You can get away with shit back then that you can't get away with now. The people's just pussies nowadays. Everybody feelings counting and shit like that. Like, get the fuck out of here. Back then, your feelings didn't count. They only counted to you. And you have the right to say, fuck you. Those are the first real words I learned. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck off. Fuck it. Those are the words I know best. I know how to tell people to fuck off. Like, dude, let me tell you something. I done had, my mother done said shit, like I said, through shoes and belts and all the broke shit in the house. Everything. And mainly because she wasn't finna be running after us and shit like that. So, yeah, and I don't blame her. Because I know exactly what she's talking about right now. Like, I ain't running after a motherfucking thing right now. When I finish this video and go get on the train and shit, I'm not running for it. I'm leaving on time or I'm going to catch something else. So, I don't blame her for all that shit. Because I'm too old for that bullshit. But what bothers me about this whole cancel culture, y'all cancel everybody but your rapist ass uncle, your gum sucking granddaddies, and your slew-footed ass hypoglycemic mamas. But y'all want to cancel every fucking body else. Fuck you. Cancel them niggas first, and then I'll think about canceling Kirk Franklin. You niggas have a lot of nerve. A lot of fucking nerve talking about cancer. Dude, people, today is just a pussy generation, dude. It's a pussy generation. I put up with so much shit. Back in the day, I had a 7th grade teacher, Miss Carlson. This white racist bitch told me. It's the only time I ever got suspended in my life in school. In my life. Only time I ever got suspended. Because I generally just shut the fuck up. Because I figured that out while my friends didn't figure it out and shit. If you sit in class, if you shut the fuck up and just do the work, even if you didn't do all the work, show up and shut up. Even if you didn't do all the work, they're going to give you a C. And if you halfway knew anything about what you was talking about, you was going to get a B. This white racist bitch, Miss Carlson, told me when I won first prize in like a spelling contest or some shit like that. She was like, "You're smart for a black kid." That's what the fuck she told me. And what got me suspended is, I told her, I was like, yeah, your nose is kind of small for a white bitch. Now, the reason why I got suspended, she's tried to suspend me, Mr. Shepard, as, once I told him what the fuck happened, he was like, dude, you can have your mother up here and stuff like that. I was like, nah, fuck that. It was in school suspension. It was 3 days. It was like on a Wednesday, so I was going to have Thursday, Friday. No, it was Wednesday, Thursday. It was a Tuesday. It was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I wasn't going to have to get back to class till Monday. I told him, I was like, I'm going to take this suspension because if I go back in this bitch's class, I'm liable to try and choke her ass. So, I'm just telling you how different the times were, and you could say, oh man, you shouldn't have had to go through that. Nigga, it's the same today. The only difference is motherfuckers are too scared to say this shit. You see they elect Donald Trump and shit like that. Motherfuckers are all keyboard warriors. People are telling you exactly how the fuck they feel. That's why I hate this generation, because they feel like, oh man, you shouldn't say that. Like, just because you don't say shit don't mean they don't mean it. She could have not told me that back then and there, and that don't fucking mean that she wouldn't have been thinking it. I'd rather her tell me, and then I tell her what I think about her, and we get the shit out the way. Nah, but y'all want to lie. Y'all like lying to people and shit. That's why I never made it and survived in sales. I couldn't do it. I could have, but it drove me fucking crazy because people like to be lied to. And I don't have time for lies and bullshit and stuff like that. That's the reason why I never got into politics. My mother begged, because I know a lot about politics. And I'm great at strategizing and shit like that. I'm great analytically. But I'm like, A, I do not like using strange bathrooms, so I'm not going to jail fucking around with politics. And B, I don't like lying and blowing smoke up people's ass and shit like that. I hate that shit. When I go to the doctor, I tell them, between my doctor and my shrink them, I'm like, tell me what the fuck is wrong. Tell me if it ain't nothing wrong. Save all the bullshit. Don't be giving me no preambles and all that shit. I remember when my grandmother died back in 99. And the doctor go in there and he, whereas the doctors and fuck, I'm like, everybody want to hear the preamble, man. Is she fucking dead or not? You're like, man, she ain't make it. What the fuck you telling me for? Oh man, see, in the ischemic, and this how white people do. I'm like, nigga, give a fuck. Like, I'm going to implement that in my life later. I want to know if my grandmother's coming back or not. I hate all that bullshit. So, Kirk Franklin did the right fucking thing. GP, are you with me? That shit is cold. I love it. I'm going to play that shit on the way to the crib. On the way to my mother's crib, actually, because I'm in my crib right now. I'm going to play that shit. Because who's real? And his son is a fucking pussy and he bleeds once a month. Maybe twice. And he pees sitting down. There you have it. Another episode of Diary of a Mad Sports Fan. If you liked it, comment. If you didn't, go fuck your mother. But before you go fuck your mother and do all that, subscribe to this fucking page. Like, comment, share, whatever the fuck you gonna do. Do all that for me. Peace and hair grease.